Permanent Secretary and Solicitor General of the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Beata Bunkeshimana, Dear Commissioner General of the Rwandan Correctional Services, CNC George Wigamba, dear governmental officials, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this second regional workshop on prison infrastructures co-organized by the Rwandan Correctional Services. The International Committee of the Red Cross is pleased and honored to see so many distinguished guests coming from Libya, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Gambia, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and of course Rwanda, gathered together for this important seminar. I would like to seize this opportunity to warmly thank the Rwandan Authority for hosting this important event. As you are all well aware, the problems faced by prison across the globe are very similar in nature and often characterized by common traits. One that immediately comes to mind is overcrowding, with its multiple negative consequences. Another is the difficulty to properly maintain existing infrastructure, let alone to develop it due to budget deficits or constraints for maintenance and investment. A final common trait worthy of mention is the difficulty in setting up effective management model to meet basic standards, also referred to as the Mandela Rules. Last but certainly not least, all the issues I have just mentioned have important consequences for the working condition and for the security of the penitentiary staff. It is interesting to note that according to the information made available by the World Prison Brief of the Institute for Crime and Justice Policy Research, 123 countries across all the 5 continents are currently exceeding the accommodation capacity, among other problems, which highlights the global dimension of detention as a common issue. It is in light of this that the ICRC has taken the initiative to bring together professionals and academics to share experience and to find solutions to challenging issues that are built on common analysis. A management model founded solely on the security approach will, for example, not be able to meet the prisoner reintegration needs, just as chronic underinvestment in prison infrastructure cannot guarantee dignified conditions for those living or working there. We all know that real societal issues often hide behind what may seem as a purely technical debate. Exactly what type of model do we want to promote? What should the role of prison be within the wider debate on justice? How do we ensure people are detained in living conditions that are respectful of human dignity and are in line with national and international standards? In all of this, prison architecture and infrastructure often reflect political choice and do not have to follow an inevitable blueprint. Furthermore, by allocating the right resources for maintenance, training, reintegration into society, we are ultimately saving money for taxpayers and making our society safer. The ICRC, because of the specific mandate conferred on it by the international community, has visited detainees for over 100 years. In 2018 alone, the ICRC visited 1,300 places of detention in 86 countries around the world, including 32 countries in Africa. It strives through its exchanges with the various prison administrations to provide technical support and advice based on existing practices which have proven their value and efficiency, and to promote such good practice. As already mentioned, prison administration face many challenges that have a direct impact on prisoners, prison staff, and infrastructure. These include essential services such as food, water, medical care, hygiene, maintenance, access to physical exercise, or reintegration activity for the detainees. as personnel in charge of infrastructure, your ability to maintain and develop it is the foundation for proper management of prison. The inadequacy of budgets, a constraint in 80% of countries, the lack of personnel or appropriate training are all factors limiting your ability to plan and deliver the minimum service desired. Fully aware and respectful of the challenge under which you operate, my ICRC colleague, whether engineers, prison system experts or delegates, are here to work together with and support your efforts and initiatives to improve prison infrastructure and to meet national and international standards. This workshop is actually also here for that. This year's workshop will focus specifically on operational and maintenance issues in accordance with the express wish of the participants during the 2018 Addis Ababa workshop. This platform is a unique opportunity, and we are fortunate to have the right people around the table who have an in-depth knowledge of the reality on the ground and of the challenges that can be encountered. We, the ICRC and the RCS, shall seek with your help to promote exchanges of good practice, but also to encourage discussions on the common challenges that you are all facing. I therefore encourage you to exchange your views as openly as possible in order to allow every participant to capitalize on your respective experiences and together to identify solutions. Dear guest of honor, dear Commissioner General, distinguished guests, in closing, allow me to thank once more the Rwandan authorities for their support and cooperation in organizing this event. And let me wish all the participants fruitful discussions which will, I hope, be up to the challenge that we all observe. May I now call upon our guest of honor, the Permanent Secretary and Solicitor General of the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Beata Mukeshimana, to provide her remark. I thank you very much.
The head of delegate of ICRC, the Commissioner General of RCS, the Deputy Commissioner General of RCS, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good morning. I'm happy to join you at the opening of this important workshop on prison infrastructure. I take this opportunity to welcome all our guests to Rwanda and wish them a pleasant stay. Thank you for making time to come and participate in this workshop. Recent researches indicate that today, world prisons are a home to over 11 million people globally, which is estimated to 10% of the entire world population, and the number keeps rising. When it comes to prison management, infrastructure is very important to avail space where prisoners spend their imprisonment time and get the daily needed services. Therefore, it is important to understand that good prison infrastructure is a human right, and it is within human treatment perspective that international norms on prison requires. Designing and maintaining prison infrastructure is crucial to creating an environment in which prisoners can live and get their prime rights, such as fair accommodation, health care service, water and food, education, play sports, family visits, and so on. This history tells us how penitentiary systems were not initially developed with the aim to reformation and social rehabilitation of convicts, but simply the first intentions were to punish by locking offenders away. The first prisons were built with the spirit of competition over establishing strong confinement. And the philosophy of imprisonment is shifting from just imprisoning an offender towards rehabilitation and transformation, is shifting from as the philosophy of imprisonment is shifting from just imprisoning an offender towards rehabilitation and transformation of offenders into better and law-abiding citizens. Infrastructure design needs to follow that shift. Developing the prison infrastructure design requires innovation, spatial concepts which better align the physical plant of correctional facilities with the concept of humane treatment and successful reintegration. In Rwanda, we have tried within our means to improve our prison infrastructure, and we continue to upgrade them to accommodate all required facilities. However, I must say that the budget is never enough to have all we need at the same time, but we strive to do our best, taking into consideration that maintaining what we have achieved so far is also very crucial. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is on this note I urge you all to discuss how better we can maintain prison infrastructure to keep them clean and they last longer, to serve properly their purpose and create safe environment that will contribute to behavior transformation of prisoners. It is my hope that during the workshop we will discuss constructively and share experiences concerning prison infrastructure in your home countries, challenge you all encounter in your daily operation in terms of developing and maintaining prison infrastructure, and to what are the proposed solutions. I'm sure that by the end of the workshop, we shall have best practices that should be imitated by all of us to have proper infrastructure that responds to the country's strategy and fits the need of staff and prisoners. I thank you all and declare this workshop open and wish you a fruitful discussions.
The Honorable Permanent Secretary, the Minister of Justice, Rwanda, the Solicitor General, and our guest of honor today, Head of the Delegation of the International Committee for the Red Cross, Rwanda, my colleague and brother from the Gambia, the Director General of the Gambia Correctional Service, the Deputy Commissioner General, Rwanda Correctional Service, dear all participants of this workshop, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good morning. I'm happy to be with you today on the opening of this important workshop. As we well know, infrastructure is an important element in the management of any human community, and when the community is housed together, the demand becomes more sensitive. This is because the management will need space and facilities to handle the required daily tasks and services to render the residents of the house. infrastructure is the top expensive item in the items of budget spent on prison management. Where people live together, they need a number of in-house services. Among others, accommodation, sleeping space, sanitation, kitchen, stores, clinics, recreation facilities, education areas, meeting areas, etc. Note that every engineer to make architectural design for the prison needs to be informed and guided about all services delivered in prisons. We have been encountering challenges with all the prisons, all implementing all the designs, which did not consider the complex nature of prison management and demands. From the government budget of infrastructure, for example, especially in our developing countries, is the most costly item, but of course, a very important one. A foundation of development. Therefore, it cannot be left out. In our annual budget for all prison operation infrastructure, it is allocated a considerable portion of around 10% of the whole budget. What we need to care about is making sure that the given portion is well utilized at the maximum according to the priorities, spent on what it was supposed and planned for. And once developed, it needs to be maintained year after year. This maintenance part should be mentioned during the architectural design and understood by every stakeholder. During the last workshop in Ethiopia in 2018, it was highlighted that there is need for developing key elements required to develop a strategy for the prison infrastructure. This was the first one. With elements that guide any national institution to develop its own workable strategy, considering its own context without compromising the international and regional standards.
kugira ngo icyo nabanza kubabwira nuko ari imfungwa n'abagororwa leta y'u Rwanda ibafata nk'abandi banyarwanda bose, akaba ari niyo mpamvu tugomba kubahiriza uburenganzira bwabo, yaba ari hari abafungiwe, haba ari mu mibereho yabo ya buri munsi. Ngira ngo ntabwo babagiye hariya mu by'ukuri dufata ko ari igihano kuko barimo kurangiza igihano baciwe n'urukiko, ariko noneho n'uburyo bwo kubafasha gusubira ku murongo, bidasaba yuko ntabwo umuntu bagiye kubaho nabi, ugomba kumwitaho nk'undi munyarwanda wese wita ku mibereho. Iki ni inshingano y'igihugu kumenya uko babayeho no kumenya ko hari ahantu bari abafasha mu bijyanye no kubaho, kandi hakaba hanafasha n'abakozi bakoramo, kuko bitabaye ibyo byabasa nkaho ntabwo uwo munyarwanda yifatwa nk'abandi, kandi mu by'ukuri ari hariya kugira ngo agororwe, kugira ngo bamufashe kuva mu byaha cyangwa mu mico mibi, ariko mu by'ukuri afatwa nk'umunyarwanda nk'abandi. Imfungwa n'abagororwa bakwiye kubaho neza, bakitabwaho n'izo nyubako zigatunganywa mu buryo urimo yishima ndetse akavamo hari icyahindutse, aho kugira ngo afungirwe ari ahantu ari habi akuremo uburwayi cyangwa avemo yumva kuko igihugu kitamukunda. Nicyo tubana cyo no kuvuga ngo umunyarwanda cyangwa umunyamahanga ufungiye aho hantu yumve ko arimo kugororwa, yumve ko ari byiza igihugu gishaka kumugezaho, ariko anishimira aho abaye.
Ku rwego rwa Afurika ubundi hafi ibihugu byose bisa nkaho bifite aho bihurira ku bikorwa remezo bigendanye n'amagereza, kuko amagereza n'ubundi yatangiye igihe cy'abakoloni matoya, agomba gushyiramo abantu bakeya bingana n'imibare y'icyo gihe, ariko noneho icyari kigamijwe ahanini byari gufunga gusa. Ariko uyu munsi uko ibihugu bikura ni nako n'ibikorwa remezo nabyo bigenda bikura, ariko bigamije ntibigamije gufunga, ahubwo bigamije kugorora. Kuko twemera yuko iyo umuntu yakoze icyaha kimujyana mu igororero, uko nabyita, arizo zizwi nka gereza, ikiba kigamijwe ni ukumuhindura agasubira kuba umuntu utasubira mu byaha. Ibyo ibirimo bikorwa rero ubu ngubu uyu munsi ni ukureba ibikorwa remezo, cyane cyane inyubako zigendanye n'ibyo ngibyo n'ibyo byifuzo by'abantu. Ni ukuvuga ngo iyo twubaka turareba ahantu aho abantu batura, aho bidagadurira, aho bivuriza, aho bigira, kuko umuntu iyo agiye muri gereza aba agiye nko mu ishuri agenda kwiga kugira ngo azavemo ari umuntu washyize ubwenge ku gihe, kandi ushobora kuba yakora n'ibikorwa bifite akamaro ku giti cye cyangwa se bifitiye akamaro abandi, bigatuma atasubira mu byaha. Bageti ho ahantu hose bakabona nta bihaza. Bageti nubwo wajya no mu bihugu bikomeye, bageti iteka ntihaza. Ariko ku ruhande rwacu muri bageti yo tubona, nanjye narabivuze, 10% ya bageti yo tubona ya buri mwaka igendera ku bikorwa remezo. Niyo mpamvu mubona amagereza uyu munsi ndetse n'ibindi bikorwa byo hirya y'amagereza uyu munsi bigenda bizamuka. Ni igikorwa gikomeza. Bageti ntihaza, ishobora guhaza, ariko uko iboneka niko tuyikoresha, kandi tugakomeza tuzamura imibereho y'imfungwa n'abagororwa, tuzamura n'ibikorwa remezo imibereho ikomeza kukomeza. Imibare ntabwo nashobora kubivuga ubu, ariko ushobora kuba bingana na miliyari 2 z'amafaranga y'u Rwanda bijya mu bikorwa remezo bya buri mwaka. Ibikorwa remezo bikenewe ni byinshi, cyane cyane ni ukubaka aho abantu batura, aho baryama, aho bidagadurira, aho bivuriza, aho bigira n'ibindi.